What's up fellow hunters, Nox here, welcome to another exciting build video. Today we have 6 insect glaive builds with comfy and meta options. As always, don't get discouraged by my talismans if you don't have a similar one. I'll show some extra talismans for each build that will get you all the essential skills. Let's go. We're gonna start with the Flying Cobra, a super useful paralysis build for farming afflicted monster parts. Weapon of choice is the Paralysis Bone Glaive. 345 attack, wide sharpness and 30 paralysis. The talisman examples on screen will get you all the essential skills, but plenty of others will work here as well of course. To increase our damage, we crank up the affinity as high as possible with Critical Eye and Weakness Exploit. Along with that, we of course have Critical Boost to get the most out of our critical hits. Then we have Attack Boost level 4 for a nice flat damage boost. Burst will add further damage on top as we land continuous hits. But of course our focus here is to paralyze monsters, which is why we're using the combination of Status Trigger and Evade Window. For 12 seconds after evading an attack, all hits will apply status damage 100% of the time. And with Evade Window level 5, this gets super easy to activate. With a weapon as fast and versatile as Insect Glaive, those 12 seconds will lead to a lot of paralysis buildup. On top of that, evading attacks also activates Adrenaline Rush, giving us a nice 15 attack bonus. And Foray will give us even more attack and affinity whenever the monster is paralyzed. If you don't mind having less evade window, I recommend switching the arms to the Risen Chameleos ones. This will trade some of the easy evasion for more attack power. For sharpness management, we're using Master's Touch, giving us an 80% chance to not lose any sharpness when landing a critical hit. This will make our white sharpness last a really long time. And as a bonus, we have full stun resistance and Spirit Bird's Call for added comfort. This is one of the best builds you can make if you want something to make farming easier and still do really high damage. We have all that without even augmenting the armor pieces. I will show some augment recommendations like this after each build, but you can of course choose whatever you want. If you like having stamina management skills like Stamina Surge and Constitution, this is a great way to add some. What about Kinsects? One big mistake I keep seeing is a lot of hunters choosing a Kinsect just based on the rarity. For Kinsects, a high rarity does not necessarily mean it's better than a lower one. You can see here that the difference in stats between this Rarity 7 and Rarity 1 Kinsect is very small. What you really want to look at is the Kinsect bonus. Statistically, these 10 are the most commonly used ones in the game. That said, which one you pick is completely dependent on your personal playstyle and preferences. They all have specific benefits that make them unique. I highly suggest trying out as many as you can so you don't miss anything you might enjoy. Let me know which one is your favorite. Titan Slayer. A comfortable high damage build for fire, water, ice and thunder. I'm using the Kushala Glaive as example, but I'll show the best picks for each element after the build. We again have all the base damage essentials, like Weakness Exploit, Critical Eye, Critical Boost, and Attack Boost. But since we're using elements, we also have Element Exploit level 1. This increases our elemental damage by 10% when attacking weak spots. Along with that, we of course have level 5 of whatever element we choose. One big thing to note here is that we also want to use Burst with this if we can. Some of the other weapons for the build will have way better slots, so you can easily fit it in there. And of course you can use augmented slots or skills for this as well. Evade Window level 3 and full stun resistance give us a very nice amount of comfort. Adrenaline Rush comes with the evasion again as well. For sharpness management, we're using Protective Polish level 3. This will keep our sharpness at purple for a full 90 seconds after sharpening. The mix of damage, comfort and weapon flexibility make this a great all-round pick to have. The talisman examples on screen will get you all the essential skills. These are the augment recommendations. As mentioned earlier, Burst will be a go-to pick here if you couldn't fit it into the build yet. And here are the best weapon options for the other elements. Due to the overall stats and hidden poison effect, the Flaming Espinas Glaive is the best one for fire now. But Rathalos is still very close behind. Next is our option for Dragon, the Exodus. Once again, Valstrax comes out on top. 340 attack, massive white sharpness and 65 dragon. We have all the damage increasing skills from the previous build and a few significant differences. The first one is that we're using Bloodlust. This will infect us with the Frenzy Virus and drain small bits of our health. But no need to worry, all we have to do is land a few hits on the monster to overcome the virus. And when that happens, we get all the drained health back and our affinity gets increased by 20%, which is perfect. That puts us at 100% affinity on weak spots. And since we're using Bloodlust, we're of course using Coalescence as well. This will activate every time we remove a blight or status effect, which means it will automatically activate when we get rid of the Frenzy Virus, giving us a very nice damage bonus for free. I don't recommend it, but you can drop this for any other level 4 decoration if you want. Aside from that, we have Burst and a few other bonus skills to add additional damage and comfort to the build. Keep in mind, level 1 decorations like Stun Resistance can be exchanged for any others you might prefer. If you're fighting a monster weak to Dragon, this will be the end of it. The Talisman examples on screen will get you all the essential skills. The Augment recommendations for this one are super flexible. I personally maxed out attack and burst, then added a few extra comfort things. Moon Presence. A super high damage build focused on raw attack with a bit of poison on the side. Let's see how many of you in the comments will know what the name of this build is referencing. Weapon of choice is the Asterism. 345 attack, natural purple sharpness, a bit of poison, and very good slots. We again have all the damage essentials intact, but this build has a lot of other attack increasing skills as well. The biggest difference from the other builds is that this one uses Grinder S. After recovering 2 levels of sharpness, the skill increases our damage by 10% for 90 seconds. And since our weapon has small amounts of purple and white, it's a perfect fit. The first thing we need to do is get rid of those 2 levels of sharpness. And as soon as we hit blue, we sharpen the weapon. This will activate Grinder as well as Protective Polish. Careful, this is where a lot of players make a small mistake. Protective Polish needs to stay at level 2 here. So we can use the remaining 30 seconds of Grinder to use up the purple and white sharpness again. That allows us to activate the Grinder effect as soon as possible again. This way we can create a constant loop of 10% damage bonus, which is amazing. And we also have the Bloodlust and Coalescence combo like on the previous build, giving us some very nice attack and affinity bonuses. On top of all that, we also have Build Up Boost, which even at level 1 has great value. It adds another 10% damage to any attack that applies poison here. And we have additional damage skills like Foray and Latent Power, which will kick in as well. The damage potential on this build is absolute madness. The Talisman examples on screen will get you all the essential skills. Grinder S actually seems to drop quite often as an augment. That would be a great one to get as it would free up some big slots. Invisible Torment. A highly optimized build for the Chameleos Insect Glaive. Our weapon has 335 attack, natural purple sharpness, 48 poison, and great slotage. All the damage essentials are maxed out, and we also have Agitator on top, giving us another 12 attack and 7% affinity whenever the monster gets enraged. The rest of our skill setup is quite a bit different here as well. We're again using Build Up Boost for the 10% extra damage on all hits that apply poison. Poison attack level 3 will increase it from 48 to 63. Then we have Chameleos Blessing, which at level 3 extends the time monsters will stay poisoned. That is of course a huge benefit because we also have Foray, which will give us an additional 10 attack as long as a monster is poisoned. For sharpness management, we're again using Protective Polish. Embolden is more of a side skill or a bonus here, but of course it still has its useful benefits that help with Agitator and Adrenaline Rush. Aside from that, we have a few comfort skills as bonus. The Talisman examples on screen will get you all the essential skills. And these are the Augment recommendations. Adding more Foray is definitely a great option as well. Dynamo X. A high damage, high comfort blast build that can be used for any occasion. Our 2 weapons of choice are the Scorned Magnamalo and the Magia Staff. These 2 are so close in overall performance that you can just pick whatever you like. Our skill setup is quite similar to the previous one. All the base damage increasing skills are intact, but this time we have more Agitator and a bit less attack. And we also have Burst to increase our raw damage further. For sharpness management, we're of course using Protective Polish. What makes this build so comfortable is that we have Intrepid Heart. It's an incredible safety net that can often save us from getting hit out of the air. That makes an aggressive playstyle a lot safer and smoother. Along with that, we have full stun resistance and a bit of stamina surge to add even more smoothness. Embolden is up to level 2, which will come with more benefits as well, and Spiritbird's Call as an extra bonus. If you want something that you can just grab and go for high level anomaly quests, this build will be a great pick. The Talisman examples on screen will get you all the essential skills, but plenty of others will work here as well of course. These are the Augment recommendations. I personally maxed out attack and stamina surge, then added a few extra comfort things. There are plenty of builds on the channel and more new ones coming soon. Thanks for watching, take it easy, and I'll see you in the next one.